Oh man, wait till you see this stuff, because today I went ahead and picked out like 10 awesome everyday carry budget knives that are almost too good to be true. Really, I should call them budget-ish knives because they're all affordable and most of them are going to cost under 100. And as usual, like the links to buy, the prices, and even if there's any coupon codes, I'll have them for you all down in the description. And you know, if we're meeting for the very first time, my name is Jay. Hey, thanks for stopping. Go ahead and subscribe if you're looking for knife reviews. They get right to the point. All right, let's go ahead and get started with number 10. This is going to be from Harns, and it's the Maverick. Now, this thing, it has excellent action. I mean, watch this, because it was dropping shut like that right out of the box. And I got to tell you, I have really been trying, but absolutely cannot get it to fail on the opening. I mean, no matter how light I push on that flipper, that blade just still fires right out of there. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's going to be the sign of a dialed in detent. The blade to handle ratio is not going to be the best, which, you know, I know that's not really a big deal, but it just kind of makes this feel a little bit larger of a knife than it actually is. And, you know, speaking of that size, we're looking at about that's a 3¼ inch harpoon style D2 blade on a 4.5 inch G10 handle. That is, you know, it is sort of bulky, and it feels, oh yeah, that's pretty hand filling. And it's because that handle thickness is sitting at 0.60 inches. And it has a great, like a 2-position deep carry pocket clip. And, you know, it's the kind that is, you know, it's going to be like sandwiched between like the scale and the liner. So that's good, because then there's, you know, nothing to get kind of caught on your pocket. And I don't know, I just think that's a really nice feature to see on a $42 budget knife. Number 9, it's going to be a Ganzo Firebird. This is the G6803. If you've been searching for like a true, you know, workhorse that can kind of handle everyday use, and, you know, and it also looks good, oh, this is definitely your knife, because this opening action is pretty good. I mean, it's really easy to flick, but I gotta warn you, if you're looking for a fidget knife, no, this is definitely not it. I mean, you can see it's a full-size knife with just, man, that is such a good-looking 3.5 inch drop point blade in HCR 14 MOV, which I know, you know, it's not really exciting, but it is riding on bronze washers, which, you know, that explains the action. So if you get a little bit of dirt in there, you know, you won't notice it as quickly as if there were bearings inside. Now, it definitely is not going to hold an edge, you know, nowhere near as long as something like D2. But on the flip side of that, you know, this thing is going to be much easier to sharpen or touch up when the time comes. The best part about all of this is going to be that $16 price tag. And, you know, that's for a knife that really does, I mean, this thing really does feel very well made. Coming in at number 8 is going to be from QSP, and it's another like bird themed kind of knife. This is the Osprey. Can I tell you that I really appreciate these little cards that QSP like includes with all the specs on it? I don't know, it just kind of makes my job a heck of a lot easier. Now we get it's a 3¼ inch 14C28N Sandvik drop point blade on that's a 4¼ inch handle with some really nice and grippy micarta scales. Now I'm a fan of wire pocket clips, and this really is it's a good one. I mean, it's not going to be like super deep carry, so because, you know, they left just a little bit for you to kind of grab onto. Now we got to talk about this action, because, you know, it's not really the strongest detent out there, and I'll show you, because I can easily, you know, fail it on the opening, but on the closing, the action is just, it's okay. Well, it's better than the ganzo, but just about any other knife is better than that ganzo. But, you know, it's not really dropping shut as fast as I expected. You know, for a knife that's riding on a ball bearing pivot, I guess maybe it's starting to break in just a little bit. But I do really like, I really like how this, how the blade kind of disappears into the handle, you know, when it's closed. Just makes it a nice, neat little smaller package. This one's a fidget monster at number 7 from Honey Badger. This is the HB 1333. Now, for those of you that don't know, you know, I'm not really a Tanto guy, but I gotta tell you, this might just be my new favorite Tanto blade shape. I mean, look at that. That is one good looking blade. I can't believe that I'm about to say this, but because, you know, well, I love like flipper opening knives. I mean, I don't know, they're just more fun to me. But this, I think that this might actually be better off without one. I just like the idea of being able to, you know, use more of that primary edge, especially since there's really no belly to speak of there either. Now, this is going to be the, it's the medium size version that has, it's a 3.19 inch 8CR13 MOV blade, which I think that this is a great size. And, you know, it's a Honey Badger, so, you know, that action, oh man, that action is going to be just crazy good. And yeah, it sure is. Just like all of the other Honey Badger knives out there, this has that same like 2-position deep carry clip that's going to be attached, you know, right behind the FRN scales. Number 6 from KAISER. This is the Vanguard version of the T1. Now, the T1 here has always been just a great knife with I think one of the best looking drop point blades that I've ever seen. But as a frame lock, though, you know, it's kind of frustrating for us lefties because of how close that the thumb stud is to the lock bar. So, you know, that would just always cause me like frequent fails to fire. So when I first heard about this Mojave Outdoor exclusive, you know, as a liner lock, I was very excited. Everything else about the knife is just fantastic. I mean, the action is just insanely good, and I just love the texture of these micarta scales. Now, instead of, you know, the stonewashed S35VN blade, we get a black-coated one, and that's going to be in 154 CM, which, you know, that's a pretty good budget steel. Man, that makes me smile every time I close this knife. But, you know, I would seriously be willing to pay like a little bit extra for an M390. Oh, without a second thought. I mean, that's just how much I like this knife. All right, sitting at number 5 is going to be a Suncut. This is the Tynan. Now, this is an interesting knife because I think that it might be Suncut's, very first frame lock, which, and if you're looking at this knife and you're thinking, man, that looks like something else. Yeah, it kind of does resemble the smaller Civivi Nox. So instead of a 2.97 inch Nitro V blade, now we get it's a 3.18 inch 10CR 15 blade with a massive, I mean, look at the size of that forward finger choil. And, you know, strangely enough, the action on this Tynan is like, it's about the same as the Civivi Nox. I mean, it's good, you know, where they both have good opening action, but it's not, it's not going to be like true drop shutty good, if that makes any sense. I will say that, though, I really like this, the stonewash finish that they're using, and I like it much more over the high polished satin on the nocks. And that's just, mainly going to be because of the, like the fingerprints. Just like the Civivi Nox, it also has the very same like deep carry pocket clip that, yes, we do get some lefty love. Number 4 is going to be from a brand called Ironfly. I love saying the name of this one. It's the Zesty. This is a knife that I just kind of decided to take a chance on, really mainly because of this gorgeous drop point blade that, that caught my eye like right away. And I've never heard of this brand before, and I've only seen it at White Mountain Knives, which, hey, that's going to be good for you because you can use my Lefty Love coupon for 10% off. Now, it is going to be available in either, you can see the this is olive, or there's also a khaki colored. And yes, this is micarta. As of this recording, both are currently in stock at White Mountain Knives also. So that won't last, so you better hurry up over there. Now, at a time when, most budget knives are using D2 steel, man, I was just like so surprised to see that this one is VG10. And on top of that, we get it's a 2-position, deep carry, well, super deep carry, wire pocket clip that is going to be held in place. Check this out. Yeah, it's held in place with that like little glass breaker tip. And the action here is just out of this world. I mean, you don't have to even shake it to close the blade. I mean, watch this. Look at that. I mean, you have to make sure that you get your fingers out of the way fast enough. At number 3, now I got 2 knives for you, and they're basically the same. They're just different sizes. This is the Ch3504 and the Ch3504 S, because smaller. I honestly just couldn't decide which one to show you, so why not both? Because both are just, hey, they're fantastic deals for a titanium frame lock. And this, you can see the bigger one on the bottom is S35VN blade, and then the smaller on top, that one's going to be D2. And I know that this is probably a design that you've seen before because it's been rebranded by like companies like Ifengro and Kubi. I mean, this thing, it's been around for a while, but, maybe some of you have also seen the version with the, remember, it's got like the half a skull on it, which is a knife I have. I can't for the life of me find that thing, so apologies there. Honestly, I was never really a fan of that one anyway, but it was the only way that I could get, this beautiful blade with that upgraded steel in the S35VN. Number 2, how about a petrified fish? Yeah, I got the mini beluga. I know you might not believe it, but I kind of feel bad for showing this because I know that it's out of stock at most places. But if you've never used like that reminder function in White Mountain Knives, hey, please give it a try because it does actually work. And it really has, it's saved me from missing out on like so many knives. Now, I've never had a problem with the full-size version, but I don't know. I really like having the option of carrying what is, basically the same knife that is, considerably smaller and, a heck of a lot lighter too. The blade steel, which was upgraded from the K110 on the larger, which is just going to be a D2 equivalent, to this 14C28N Sandvik on the small guy here. So what's the big deal about that? Well, compared to like D2, 14C28N is going to be it's a tougher steel that is less likely to chip or break. But, D2, or in this case, K110, it's definitely going to have better edge retention than the Sandvik. All right, you ready to see it? My number 1 favorite budget knife that is almost too good to be true is going to be another KAISER. Yep, it's the Towser K. Yeah, I know. I am, again, late to the party as usual with this knife. Not because I wanted to be. I just really had a tough time finding it in stock. And now that I've been carrying it and using it for a little while, oh, I can totally see why, because this is a great knife, and it just checks off so many boxes for me. Obviously you too, because you guys wouldn't let me have one. I mean, come on, it looks good. It has just incredible action, and it is super comfortable in hand with these micarta scales, also available in that, what I think it's like that blue rich light material. And I really love how this blade, you can see, well, now you can see it this way. I love how it's like canted forward, or, well, downward, which really does, it makes it a dream to cut with. Did you notice, I got to show you this. Now, if you look close, do you notice like the 3 holes right there for a clip that only uses just 2 screws? So it looks like that you can go ahead and kind of mount it however you like. But I think anyway, that 3rd hole should have been drilled down below instead of up on top, because this clip already, I mean, look at it, you already get a pretty deep ride. So if you use that top hole, that's going to give you like a super deep ride in pocket? I mean, wouldn't it make a little bit more sense to be able to move it down, like down a little bit, to like for an optional shallow ride? So, because there's some of you out there like having a little bit of handle to grab onto when pulling this out of the pocket. Right now, there's a video on the screen that I personally went ahead and picked out for you to go ahead and watch next. And hey, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. I got to run, guys, but love you. I'll see you at the next video. Take care.